Hi, I'm Corey Woods, Mayor-Elect of the City of Tempe. Class of 2020, it is truly a pleasure to be in front of you today. It wasn't that long ago that I was in your shoes. I'm excited to see what you will do moving forward and the many ways that you will both change and shape the world. The central theme I'll be talking about with you today is the importance of never taking no for an answer. There is a common phrase that goes, if you don't believe in yourself, then no one else will. It might sound like a cliche, but in my life, I've never heard truer words. When I speak with young people, many who are in high school or college, a lot of them sincerely believe that public service is for older people. Therefore, many young people decide to opt out of civic participation and public service. In my humble opinion, this is the wrong path to take. In order to do something that is truly great, you're going to have to take some real chances. Nothing worth getting is ever easy, whether it be personal or professional. Think about any job that you ever really want. Think about any relationship that you've ever really wanted to be in. None of those things are easy. Either of them takes a lot of time and a lot of dedication if you're going to be successful in either venture. My point is, you have to have the courage and intestinal fortitude to blaze meaningful trails. Many people ask me what makes me work so hard but remain so positive. So here's a little bit of my personal story for some much needed context. My brother and I were adopted from two separate families when we were both infants. Around the time that I was 7 or 8 years old, we lived in Detroit, Michigan, next to a family that had two foster girls. They were incredible kids. However, due to some other circumstances, at one point the family had to put the children back into foster care. It was at that point in my life when I realized how fortunate I truly was. My life could have been drastically different, but I was blessed to be adopted by the best family someone could ever have. So if you ask me why I can't ever seem to wipe the smile off my face, it's because I'm just happy to be alive and surrounded by so many incredible family members and amazing friends. I truly believe those early experiences shaped the person I continue to be today. So let's fast forward a little bit. I moved to Tempe, Arizona in July of 2003 to attend graduate school at Arizona State University. I knew only 2 people when I relocated here. Within about 2 months of me moving here, both of those people were gone, relocating to other states. So here I was, starting my life in a new place, long ways away from Ann Arbor, Michigan, and a far ways away from New Rochelle, New York, where I'd grown up. I pretty much threw myself into my studies. Within a year and a half, I'd completed all the required coursework with the exception of my master's thesis. And this was the time that I got really bitten by the public service bug. I had long wanted to enter the political world. When I was a child, I remember watching the 1988 presidential debate between George H.W. Bush and Michael Dukakis. I was all of 9 years old, but something about this just completely captivated me at the time. I remember seeing these smart men standing up in front of their respective podiums, confidently discussing everything from foreign to domestic policy. I am sure that kids my age at that time probably wanted to be Michael Jordan, or maybe even Tom Cruise, but I instead wanted to enter the world of politics. Probably a bit odd, but hey, it's my story. So let's go back to the future. I decided that I didn't want to finish my thesis at the moment, and instead opted to seek a seat on the Tempe City Council. Let me first say that this decision was not popular with my mother, who was a career educator. She wasn't exactly the kind of person who was going to bless this newfound decision because of the fact she had been a career educator in some really tough sections of New York City. She really wanted me to get my education. She saw that as the path to a bright future. However, she and my father both recognized that I was 26 years old and I was an adult and I had the right to make my own decisions, so therefore they supported my decision to run for a council seat. So in 2005, I filed to run for the city council and worked really hard to secure a victory. However, this story doesn't exactly have a fairy tale ending, well, at least not in the beginning. After many months of campaigning and desperately trying to raise the necessary funds, Election Day finally arrived, and I got absolutely clobbered. Out of 5 candidates, I finished 5th, dead last. This was quite the experience for a guy who had won every student government election that he had ever taken part in. I picked myself up, though, and began to think about what my next steps might be. However, something really interesting happened from that experience. Many longtime Tempe residents encouraged me to get more involved in the community. They said they were impressed with my hustle and my work ethic, even though I just finished last in a very public election. My father and I also had a very similar conversation at the time. I remember he told me, Corey, it's not that people don't like you, they just don't know you. But once they do, I'm pretty sure they'll like you, and it will be much different next time. With that additional knowledge I had now acquired, I began to pick up the pieces. All of a sudden, many respected Tempe organizations began to offer me the open slots on their boards of directors. I happily accepted all of them in a sincere effort to get more involved and learn more about my new city. After another few months went by, a number of residents then began to approach me and ask me if I would consider running for public office again. So after doing some serious soul searching, I made the decision to take another shot at a city council seat. And here's another side note. When I was seeking out advice about whether to run again, a good friend asked me if it might not be better for me to move to a city that had more African Americans and Latinos, which might improve my chances of getting elected. See, Tempe had never had an African American council member in its 100-year-plus history. So I was not just trying to win a council seat, I was trying to break through a glass ceiling that no one before me had ever broken through. But I was undeterred though. So with my father's words ringing in my mind, and my mother's unwavering support, and so many residents pushing me forward, I decided just to go for it. And what do you know? On May 20th of 2008, I was elected at the age of 29 to the Tempe City Council. I was so proud that the glass ceiling that I was working to shatter had been broken into thousands of little pieces. I was fortunate to serve 8 incredible years on the City Council. After that first win in 2008, I was reelected in 2012 with nearly 64% of the vote. I worked as hard as I could every day because I remembered just how hard it was to get there. But even more importantly, I recognized the amount of faith the residents of Tempe had put in me to run their great city. And as of March 10th of 2020, I was elected mayor of the city of Tempe. I'm extremely excited about taking the helm on July 2nd. And even of greater importance to me is that I still get to spend time counseling and mentoring others who also want to pursue careers in public service. I consider it to be my responsibility to help others after all the support I received from so many people who helped me when I was coming up through the ranks. And last but certainly not least, I need to tell you how my educational career concluded after all of this talk about politics and civic engagement. In November of 2016, shortly after leaving the City Council, I took a job as the Deputy Chief Operating Officer at ASU Preparatory Academy. Once there, I found out that I qualified for the tuition reduction that all full-time employees receive at ASU. At that point, I realized it was time for me to go back to school to complete my education. The emotional part of the story is that my mother unfortunately passed away in January of 2012 from ovarian cancer, a few months before I was elected to my second term on the City Council. But my promise to her before she passed away was that when all of the political activity slowed down, I would return to school to complete my degree. And complete it I did. I went back to school, taking 18 credits in 9 months while still working a 40-plus hour a week job. And I graduated in May of 2018 with a Master of Arts in Educational Policy, finally completing my education and making good on a promise that I had made to the most incredible woman I've ever known, my mother, Barbara Woods. Graduates, you are going to be part of the next generation of great leaders who will work hard to give everyone the opportunity to get a great education, obtain a good paying job, and be a positive force in their respective communities. I'm incredibly excited that I've had the chance to speak with you today. So I'm going to leave you with this. When somebody tells you you aren't ready or you aren't good enough, don't spend even 2 seconds listening to them. Surround yourself with people who will support you and make you want to be a better person every morning that you walk out the front door. Russell Wilson, the Super Bowl winning quarterback of the Seattle Seahawks, once said, "Why not you and why not now?" I urge you to ask yourself that same rhetorical question at pivotal points in your life. Why not you and why not now? Because I can guarantee you your time to shine is most definitely right here and right now. Congratulations on such a major accomplishment in all of your lives. I wish each and every one of you the best. Happy graduation day.
We stand here today as the graduating class of 2020.
Dun, 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 dun,
We are living through an extraordinary time, to be sure.
dun, dun, dun.
We are so proud of you.
We are with you.
Welcome to the beginning of the next chapter of your life adventure.
The world needs your talents and your leadership now more than ever.
I cannot wait to see your greatness.
We're going to come out of this crisis stronger together.
You are a product for the times.
Go toward yourself.
Bloom where you are planted.
Change is good.
It's going to be okay because you are enough.
You can have an effect.
Go out and rock this time.
Focus on leaving our community a better place.
You've got this. Be brave.
Embrace today.
Please remember to vote.
Muchísimas felicidades a la clase de graduados de 2020.
Can't wait to see what you do.
Cheers to the graduating classes of 2020.
Congratulations.
Congratulations!
Congratulations.
Mazel tov.
Congratulations.
Congratulations!
We celebrate you!